Okay, so in the last session we completed up to journal approvals. Okay, we tested and we have seen the process how the notifications will be routed to the right approver, how to approve, how the status will get turned into approved. So the process we tested. We completed required configuration. We have seen the process. Now we'll perform the revaluation. First we'll see what setups required and we'll go through the process. So revaluation. So we have a ledger with USD. To test the revaluation, we should have a foreign currency transaction. Basically, the transaction may flow from payables or receivables, but here testing purpose, we'll create one foreign currency journal and we'll have some time gap and we can have some different rates, and that's how we'll test it. Okay, so to test this, we'll go with a simple example. Say for example, we are creating one journal in INR, which is a foreign currency. The date which we are creating is, I'll take today is the 16th. I'll take the date as first, as say 14th July 2018. So on this date we created one transaction, one journal in with say I'll go with 6,800 rupees. Okay, that means as on, so our ledger currency is USD. Okay, when you create with this, what system will do, just system will take the conversion, so the same amount I taken, so 6,800 rupees are equal to 100 USD. Okay, if you go with the conversion as $1 equal to 68 INR. So we are going to record the journal on this date. On this date, there is conversion rate is $1 is equal to 68 INR. So we'll create journal with a 6,800 or some different amount. So that would be resulting, that is equal to how much USD. Okay, done. Now that means as on this date, our liability will create one transaction. We know that we perform the revaluation for current liabilities or assets. So in this case, we take the case as current. We'll go with the example as current liability. So say like on as on 14th July 2018, our liability is 6,800. You are going to pay today, or else you want to know what is the liability as on today. So we'll go on to do the revaluation with the today days. Today date, say perform revaluation on 16th July 2018. So when you are going to perform the revaluation today, say today rate is, here I'll enter, today rate is $1 equal to, so 67 rupees. 67 rupees. If $1 equal to 67 rupees, okay, so for that, whatever we have to pay, that amount is 6,700 rupees more. Okay, 6,700. The variance, so the variance between the journal which you are recording, the journal, I mean the revaluation which you are performing, the system will identify this variance, the 100 rupees variance, that it will take as unrealized gain or loss depending on the scenario. Okay, we'll just go and test it. To test this, we have to create the rate with this date as well as this date. We'll go and define the daily rates. On July 14th date, we'll create $1 equal to 68. With the today's date, we'll create the rate as a 67, $1 equal. Okay, so first we'll go and create the daily rates. After creating the daily rates, we'll create this journal. We'll perform the revaluation as on today, and system should result, okay, with 100 rupees variance. Okay, that system will, depending on how you are taking, it will result as a gain or loss. It's not realized gain or realized loss, unrealized gain or loss. Fine. So done. So here, if you take this example, as on 14th July, we have to pay 6,800. After performing the revaluation, you can identify you have to pay only 6,700 if you pay today, or else this is our liability as on today. That means 100 rupees variance. So the 100 rupees is gain. Reality, we are not paying today. Okay, so that we have to treat as a unrealized gain. We'll see that. So once you perform the revaluation, what system will do is, system creates revaluation journal, okay, against the current liability or current asset, against which account we are going to perform the revaluation. It will create the entry called as, it will hit the account called as unrealized gain or loss account with the respective amount. We'll go and see that. First we'll go and create the daily rates. Our username is new Google. Okay, search for the task called as daily rates. So create in spreadsheet. So okay. Say connect. Okay, enter login credentials. New Google. Welcome. Subscribe. Fine. So from currency, say USD, to currency you can take INR. Anyway, system will create inverse rate, so you can go with any from two between those two. Say corporate rate we are going to use from on to date. So as we planned here, we need the rate for 14th July. Okay. 18. Only for the date what we discussed, 68. And just will create, so incorporate the today date. Say today rate is 67. Now we can submit these rates. Can import. Say okay. Fine, done. Rows inserted successfully. Okay. So now we created rates. We'll go and create the journal as on 14th July in INR. Go to navigator, go to journals work area, go to journals, click on journals task, it will take us to journals work area. Go to task list, say create journal. Just I want a new journal name as a one. Currency, you are going to record the journal in which currency you can enter the currency. Select currency. So system is, and we want to go with the date. We'll just select accounting date 14th, and conversion date rate also we want to go with this date 14, and select any one of the category. Just for testing, any category you can choose. So select company, department, account. We'll go with expense account, and we'll take credit line as a liability, current liability, where we can perform the revaluation. So expense, so software expense. Say okay. So we are going to enter in rupees, 6,800 rupees. System will convert into dollars automatically. So by following this rate, 6,800 rupees equal to $100. Select accounts payable account. Accounts payables. Say okay. $6,800. Okay, done. Now save this journal. Complete and post. I think we have approvals for this. Just wait to see the notification. Again, it little bit time taking. What we'll do is send to approvals. Again, the notification should come. Yeah, I think we received the notification. Okay. So here you could see say upload. Done. Now just refresh. Upload. So when we define the approvals for journals, we didn't select the currency. The approvals should be applicable for which currency we didn't select. That is the reason. Okay, with any currency up to as we given 10,000, this user can approve. This is 6,800 only. Okay, so that is the reason we are able to approve journal which we created in INR. Done. Fine. So now you can post it. should be updated automatically. Processing. Yeah, posting is completed, approved and posted. Done. So now we're going to perform the revaluation as on today date. Go to period close task. Okay, go to period close. Go to task list. Say revalue balances. Okay, here we'll go and create the revaluation. Just click on create. Just to submit that revaluation, we'll go with the criteria selection. Say new Google liability revaluation. So accounts payable account we have with the just in foreign currency balances, so that we are going to revalue. Choose our chart of accounts. New Google flex field currency. We are going to perform the revaluation. Which currency related journal? USD. Conversion rate corporate. So done. So here provide unrealized gain and loss account. So depending on that balances, how the outcome will result, accordingly system will be selecting unrealized gain or loss account. In our case, it should pick the unrealized gain account. And the first account is unrealized gain. Unrealized foreign exchange gain. Select it. Okay. So you can copy and paste the same and pick unrealized loss account. Overwrite this account. Loss account. So it contains loss. So unrealized foreign exchange loss. So now we want to just perform this what base PTD base or YTD. We'll just go with the PTD specific period. Once you submit this revaluation, system will identify the variance by picking any one of this gain or loss account depending on the fluctuation. It will create the revaluation journal with the respective revaluation account. So that has to be, if you want to post it automatically, you can enable post automatic. System will create the revaluation journal automatically. The same you want to post automatically, you can enable the checkbox. Now we want to perform the revaluation for which account? The one or multiple accounts you can select here. Okay. Go with the filter option. So directly you can pick the account. Accounts payables. Whatever the account you have in the journal, that account you can choose. Oh, I think not sure which account we given, since two accounts we have. Quickly we'll go and check it. Go to journals. Go to task list. Say manage journals. So period is current period. Here you can add additional periods to search with the date. Say approval date, yes, with the today date we approve the journal. Today only we approve. Today date. Pick it. Okay. So basically we are not required. Fine. Till this date it will fetch. Search. By no issues directly we will go with open search with this period. So we given the name as 1, right? Open this journal and just look at the account. The account is liability account is accounts payable account is 22100. Fine. So provide same account here. 22100. Select and say okay. Just click on OK. Done. Now say save and close. Now we have to select that revaluation definition and click on generate. Now this process will identify the variants and it will create the revaluation journal. We are doing for which ledger? Yes, new USA, new Google USA primary ledger. The revaluation name what we given, the same whatever we selected, we have to provide here. For which period? July month. And the accounting date with the today date. Rate also we have with the today date. Done. Submit. Okay. Submit and close. Now we can go to scheduled processes to review the process. Now it will trigger the revaluation job. Okay, once that is complete, we can see revalue balances. It is ending with error. What is the reason? Okay, I think 1 second. Go to period close. I think a revaluation definition I taken that currency functional currency we taken. Okay. Go to revalue balances. We'll create other one. I just selected this. I think not sure which currency I selected. New Google chart of accounts. Currency. For which currency you want to do revaluation? INR. I think I selected USD last time. Okay, revaluation currency. For this currency, we want to perform the revaluation. This is a foreign currency. Say corporate. Same accounts you can provide here. So gain account, unrealized foreign exchange gain. Say okay. Yes. Say okay. When got some issue with the field, we'll fill for second field, then we'll go with that. Here loss account we have to select. Select gain account. Say post revaluation journal automatically. One system will create revaluation journal. So specify for which account you want to do the revaluation. So select account. Say save and close. Submit. And just provide the required parameters. We created as a, this is the one, right? New Google INR report. This is the ledger R ledger. The revaluation name is New Google. It is July month. Accounting date is, and exchange rate date also same. Submit it. Okay. And now you can close and you can navigate to schedule process. The last time I just by mistake I selected ledger currency only. So now you could see revaluation process submitted, and it will be triggering the process to create the revaluation journal entry, and it will post it. Now so it's running the revaluation balances, it's performing the revaluation, and it identified the variance, and it created revaluation journal, and it is posting also. See, post revaluation journal completed. So performed revaluation, identified the variance. With that variance, by taking the liability account and the eligible account, gain or loss account based on the variance, it created revaluation journal entry that got posted. Now we'll go and see that. Okay, the same search criteria. Once again, submit for search. You can find revaluation journal also. Here you can see revaluation, revalue for INR. So there is no difference in the our functional currency. Our functional currency is USD. Only the variance you see in the foreign currency, which resulted because of the exchange rates. So what is the variance? So this is the variance. Okay, the entered currency balances. In the entered currency balance, no difference. Just it's a variance. If you look at this account, so you could see that is a, okay, it's resulting as a loss. Okay, 1.49, $1.49. That means, so by comparing the date, whatever we have to pay, this much more we have to pay if you just pay this amount now. Okay, so the overall amount this much we have to just pay more, that is resulting as a loss. I mean it's a just customer, I mean when we are paying, so pay base like that's how it would be loss. We take in the case as accounts payable account. So this is how simply you can just perform the revaluation. Based on the variance, it will trigger the revaluation journal entry and it will post it. Fine, done. So the next topic we'll see translation. So it's all about, like it's converting the balances, converting the ledger balances into different currency for the purpose of consolidation. Now just we'll see what setups required to perform the translation. So what are the balances we have in our ledger, primary ledger? All the balances, if you want to convert into different currency, we can use this, right? So when you talk about setups, okay, just we have to set up the rates for the three type of rate types. Like here we use period and average, historical, based on the account type, right? So just we'll talk about those. First we have to set up, say set rates for period end. Period end for assets and liabilities, and period average rates, expense and revenue, and for ownership related balances, ownership account type, we have to set the historical rates. The same we do in EBS also, the same setups here also, even revaluation also, when you compare the same, no changes. And these are the three type of rates, three rates we have to set. And once we're done with that, we can go and set default rate types in our ledger. Say set default rate type for ledger. So ledger level will go and specify for our ledger which is the default period and average rate we want to use, that we have to set, as well as we have to provide CTA account. Say provide CTA account. CTA account is nothing but cumulative translation adjustment account, which will be capturing the variance between these three rate types, right? So now for which, I mean you are going to translate the balances from ledger currency to which other currency. You want to translate the balances from USD to which currency, that currency you have to add, okay, as a translation currency by using the reporting currency option. Say add translation currency to ledger. We'll use the task called as create reporting currencies only, but we'll be setting the option as a conversion level as a balances. We know in case of translation, entire balances will be translated, right? So once this is done, we'll go and run translation. That's all. We'll go and run the translation, so the balance will get translated, and we'll just will configure this consolidation setups so that we can move the balances from our primary ledger to consolidation ledger, or you may call it as parent ledger. Okay, right, we'll see that. Fine. So first we'll complete these setups. So we have to set the rates for this period and average and historical. So to define the rates, you can go and search for the daily rates, or else under period close also you can find the task. Under period close, if you go to task list, you can find the task called as manage currency rates. It will navigate us to same spreadsheet. Daily rates, say create in spreadsheet, say okay, say connect. from currency USD, and we'll go with the consolidation with say AED. Okay, we'll go with this AED currency. So here conversion rate type, consolidation, select corporate, from and two dates. We'll go with the today date only. Sorry, here we are defining for this, right? So not corporate. Let's go with the period end rate first. So conversion rate, $1 equal to how many AED, right? So it's as per period end rates, so 4 AED. And we'll set period average rates, which is required for expense and revenues. Same date you can take. So period average rate, say I'll take 5 just for our testing. So that's all. Historical rates you cannot set from here, that we have to set from the different navigation. Okay, we'll see that. Done. So create daily rates and says submit. System will import these rates into application. To create the historical rates, you can go to this tab, select your ledger, better we can search instead of going by that list of values. So new Google USA primary ledger. Select targeted currency. So this is a ledger currency. We are going to just define this conversion by targeting which currency, AED. Okay, historical. Say create in spreadsheet. One second. Create in spreadsheet. Say okay. Say connect. So select account. The account which we'll be using here is, the account type should be ownership account. We'll just select the retained earnings account here. Select company, department. The historical rate always for ownership account related balances. Ownership related balances will maintain with the retained earnings account, right? Search for retained earnings account. Select, say okay. Say okay. Okay, and again just you can provide the same these details like say July month target currencies. Here we have ledger currency. Target currencies AED. So here you can go with the specification. Say rate. Rate is $1 equal to how much AED as per historical rate. The historical rate means which talks about your Retained earnings. The retained earnings will get carried forward for many years. I'll take $1 is equal to 680. Okay, fine. So then this is the information we have to provide. You can import the same information into application. Say okay. Insert it. Done. Close it. What is the next step? Okay, we're done with the rates definition. Now we'll go and set default rate types for our ledger through ledger options. Okay, go to ledger options. Setup and maintenance. Okay, right, you can go to implementation projects. Click on overview. Okay, just search for specify ledger options. So USA private ledger. Okay. Here, as a part of this period close section, you can find the default period and rate type under default period average rate, as well as here we have a CT account, cumulative translation adjustment account, which is mandatory if you perform the translation. To take the variance between those three rates, we given like 4, 3, 5, right? The variance it will capture. So the period end rate. This is the rate which you have to select. Average rates and provide CT account. Search for cumulative translation adjustment account. Just search with this term. That should come if it is available within this. Yes. Say okay. Just say okay. Say save and close. Okay, now we want to translate this ledger balances into which currency. Okay, that definition we have to create as a ledger level for translation purpose by using reporting currencies task. Okay, so just we completed this task also. Now we are going to add translation currency to our ledger with the help of reporting currencies task. Just click on go to task icon. Okay, so create. So USD to INR translation. It's not INR, AED, right? AED translation. So when I talk about translation, the conversion level we use balances. So currency, we are going to translate into which currency? The target currency is AED. So system is defaulting the rate types what we given through ledger options. Okay, done. So the period wise only we want to do it. Say save and close. Done. Okay, this is how we have to add translation currency at our ledger level by using the reporting currencies option. So save and close. Okay, done. Now we can go and run the translation. To run the translation, you can go to period close task. So here we have a task called as translate balances. So this is our primary ledger, and yes, targeted currency is AED. System is picking here. The reason within this currency only we added AED currency as a translation currency. So accounting period is current period. July. So if you want to run this for specific balance and segment value, you can select. Otherwise, if you want to just run it for all the balance and segment value based on the transaction availability, it will perform. No need to select. Let it run for all, but we have transactions only with balance segment value 1000. Just submit it. Okay. So this is how just you can submit. Then system will identify all the balances from primary and it will translate the balances. Just make sure that the process will complete without any issue. Okay. Translate general ledger balances. Okay, it got translated. Okay, done. Now what we'll do is these balances we have to move to another ledger. Normally we do translation if you are going to do the consolidation. Now we'll complete the consolidation related setups. Now the translated balances, the balance which are in USD, those got translated into AED. We'll move all AED balances into consolidation ledger. Okay. Now just we'll perform the consolidation to just merge the balances from different ledgers to one ledger. Consolidation ledger. So consolidation. We'll see what setups required. Finally, we'll move these translated balances into consolidation ledger. Fine. So primarily we have to create the consolidation ledger, right? So we translated balance from USD to AED. So we'll go and create that consolidation ledger also in AED. So create consolidation ledger. The ledger should be created the AED as per our translation which we did. So to test this functionality, to give the access to this consolidation ledger, we'll create the separate user. So create new user. We'll create new user as a Google consolidation. Okay. We'll assign a few roles, one or two roles to this user, so that this user can have access to GL functionalities, so that this user will be able to see the data which is coming from subsidiary books. Say assign GL roles to user. Once we assign the roles, there is no use of direct roles if you don't assign any ledger access in case of GL. For that reason, we have to provide the data access. Say provide data access for the user related roles. After providing the access, automatically system will synchronize. Otherwise, you may run job, run LDAP job. So after completing this, we can go and open the periods in consolidation ledger. Open periods in consolidation ledger. Done. After that, you can perform the mapping between this subsidiary ledger and consolidation ledger. Our primary ledger we treat as a subsidiary in case of consolidation. Between these two ledgers, we do the mapping. Right? Say map subsidiary, nothing but US primary ledger. Okay. Subsidiary and consolidation ledgers. You have to perform the mapping between these two. So ledgers, we should say ledgers COL. Okay, between these two subsidiary and consolidation ledger chart of accounts, we have to do the mapping. Once we're done with that mapping, so we'll transfer the balances from our consolidation ledger to our primary ledger, which we are calling as subsidiary, from that ledger to consolidation ledger. Say transfer balances from subsidiary to consolidation ledger. So done. Okay, so this above all comes under configuration part. This is only related to process. Fine, we'll go and perform these setups. So first we have to create the consolidation ledger with AED. So say just we can go with the same task, manage primary ledgers. So like our primary ledger only, we have to create the consolidation ledger. I'll say new Google consolidation ledger. Select chart of accounts. So select calendar. We can choose different chart of accounts also. We know just we can perform the mapping between the chart of account segments. Right. So consolidation ledger, we are going to do consolidation which currency? AED. And anyway, just accounting method is not mandatory now. Just you can say save and close. Fine, done. Now we have to set up the ledger options. Before that, select our consolidation ledger from the selected scope. So say select and add. Say apply and go to task. Search for our consolidation ledger. Okay, say save and close. Set returned earnings account as a mandatory account. Okay, select retained earnings account. Just say okay. So done. When we are processing the data from the subsidiary to this consolidation ledger, if you want to just manage this like suspense, okay, those you may enable it. Enable suspense for general ledger. We can provide the default suspense account. If any variance because of the conversion or conversions and all, just it will just hit this account to manage that variances, so it won't create an issue in the process of consolidation. I mean, moving the data from subsidiary to this consolidation ledger. Just you can keep this account on. So select suspense account. Okay, done. So save and close. Okay. Now what we have to do, we are creating this consolidation ledger same as a primary ledger. In terms of purpose, this is for consolidation, but in terms of definition, same as primary ledger. So after completing these setups, what we have to do? So normally, if it's the real ledger, primary ledger will create the legal entity we associate and will set the balance segment values mapping to legal entity. All will do. This is for consolidation. Those and all we no need to perform. Directly you can go and do submit this ledger definition to validate. So here verify, which is selected into this scope. New Google consolidation ledger. Our ledger is selected. Now you can say submit. Okay, review and submit accounting configuration. Just click on the task. Okay, say submit. Now we know like system will trigger the process to update this definition in the space, right? First it will validate if everything is fine. It will update the same information in the space. We can go and see that jobs which system is running. Complete accounting configuration, load chart of account values, create balance cubes. Okay, it's running. So meantime, we'll go to that manage ledger's task to verify the status of our consolidation ledger. Just make sure that ledger status is confirmed. Okay, so what is the status? Confirmed. That means the process also completed here. So that is the reason you could see the status as confirmed. Done. Now consolidation ledger is ready. We have subsidiary ledger where we have translated balances, right? So it's ready. Done. I'll create the separate user to have access to this consolidation ledger. So go to security console. So say Google consolidation. Just add one or two roles related to GL to provide the GL access. So general accounting manager. Let's assign one more role called as general accountant. Okay, general accountant role. Just say done. We'll reset this password again. Say save and close. We created a separate user for consolidation ledger access and we assign the roles. Now we'll go and provide the data access to this user related two roles for our consolidation ledger. We'll do the consolidation ledger mapping with this new user roles. So we have to go to the task called as data access for users, right? Just click on setup and maintenance. Search for the task called as data access for users. Manage data access for users. Click on create. So username is Google Consolidation. Select role called as general accountant. Security contest. Data access set. Now we have to map our consolidation ledger. New Google Consolidation ledger. Just click on add. Select role. Select new Google Consolidation ledger. Done. And say save and close. Submit LDAP job. Done. Just say OK. Fine. So provided data access and we submitted LDAP job. Now we have to log into the application as a consolidation user and we have to open the periods for ledger. Right, we'll just go and do it. So just sign out from the current user. Username is Google Consolidation. Just do a password. If the roles are synchronized with that ledger, we'll be able to open the periods. Just click on period close. The the consolidation ledger, the current period is status is never open. Just click on this. You have to open the first period as a John. Say OK. Yes. Let's go to open target period. July month, say open. Done. Now we have to perform the mapping between these two ledgers chart of accounts that we can do from so new Google user, because this user doesn't have access to functional setup manager, right? So no access to setup and maintenance task, because we didn't assign any role to this user. This user we assigned only GL related roles. The GL related roles will give the access to only this limited tasks. Just sign out from this user. So log into the instance as a new Google user. Fine. Done. Okay, we have to do the mapping between the chart of accounts. Okay, manage chart of accounts mapping. Manage chart of accounts mapping. Click on go to task icon. Just click on create. Say new Google COA mapping for consolidation purpose, not for secondary ledger, right? Consolidation. Done. So targeted chart of account, consolidation ledger chart of accounts. We are using for consolidation. New Google Flex field and source chart of accounts or primary ledger chart of accounts. Our primary ledger chart of accounts also same. For two ledgers, we are using the same chart of accounts. Now we can do the mapping between these segments, target segments, nothing but consolidation ledger segments with source segments, subset ledger segments. Just click on this column, map method, say copy value from source. So company to company. Department to department. Even if you have different chart of accounts, the different segments, which segments you want to map, those we can map. Remaining you can ignore. So done. So you can say save and close. So we're done with the chart of accounts mapping. Fine. Now in our primary ledger, okay, we have translated balances. At the time of adding the translation currency, okay, here as a part of add translation currency to ledger, at the time we given the name, right? USD to AED. That's how we given the name. With this name only you can identify your primary ledger for the translation purpose. We'll see that. Fine. So now we have to transfer the translated balance which are available in our primary, those two consolidation ledger. Go to schedule process. Just let me search with the balances. So here is the task. Here is the job called as transfer general ledger. Okay, transfer general ledger balance to, okay, not balance, choose this. Transfer ledger balances. Okay, this is a task we have to use to transfer balance from one ledger to other ledger. The one ledger is our primary, other ledger is consolidation ledger, that we can specify. Just say okay. Source ledger, from which ledger you want to transfer. Okay, new Google USA primary ledger, target ledger, here consolidation ledger, it's not coming. So here see, at the time of the translation currency which we created, at the time we given the name as USD to AED, right? That you can select as a source ledger, otherwise it doesn't work. Say USD, we given the name as USD to AED translation. This here, with this name our translated balances are available within our primary ledger. This name you have to take. Now you can find our consolidation ledger. So new Google consolidation ledger. So this point is very important. You don't find source ledger reality our primary ledger, but within the primary ledger, what are the name we given for the translation currency, that name only you have to select, then only that can be mapped. Okay, chart of accounts mapping. So this is what mapping we created. Amount type, just I want to go with the PTDs, periodic balances we have only in the current month. Source ledger period, say July. Target ledger also July. So run journal import into consolidation ledger, create summary journals, run auto posting. These all are mandatory. So select it. If you are going to do it for specific company, select, otherwise directly you can submit. So system is running is child jobs, transfer balances, it's submitted and it trigger the job code is import. That means system is importing the translated balances into consolidation ledger. Now the same journal system is posting. So anyway, this will get completed. Meantime, we can go to that consolidation user to find out the same. Yes, done. Now we can go and find the translated balances information in consolidation ledger, which is transferred from our primary ledger. Go to journals. Go to manage journals. Current month July. We transfer to this month only, right? Search. So we have journals almost in the July month only. So you can just open this. Okay. So all the balances in AAD. So this is how you can bring the data from multiple subsidiary ledger to specific consolidation ledger. All the data you can consolidate and you can prepare the reports accordingly. So the same process we have in EBS also. So whatever we are testing GL concepts almost same we have in EBS as it is. So in the tomorrow session what we'll do is we will go with these other topics which we have as a part of GL. We'll go through this reporting studio, financial reporting studio, smart view, account inspector, monitor. Anyway, GL period close process already we have a document already shared for all the applications. The same you can just go through. So these are the pending. This we done just now. These three we completed in today's session. So these topics we'll see in the tomorrow session. Okay, if time permits, we can just continue with these topics. I think AGIS also we have pending. Right. Done. So that's all for today. We'll connect tomorrow and just will work on these topics.
Lakshman,
Yeah.
this one,
Yeah, Vinod, please.
Lakshman, this last 3 to 4 session is video is not uploaded. I think.
Uploaded, Vinod. Today I uploaded. You can check it once. Yeah.
Okay,
Today itself
okay, Lakshman.
uploaded.
This the sheet also kindly update this
The sheet
sheet
also.
also.
Yes, yes. I'll upload this video within 1 hour. Yeah, I'll do that without
Okay,
it.
okay, Lakshman.
Yeah, fine, Vinod.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. We'll connect tomorrow same time. Thank you all. Have a good day and good night.
Okay.